Hey, good evening, everybody. Sorry for the crazy lighting effect, but it got late and we went out for ice cream. And then I was like, oh man, but I didn't want to shoot another message inside the RV because I don't know, it's kind of boring. So I decided to stay outside. Um, Tonight we're in a really cool campground. It's actually right on the Mississippi coast in Waveland, Mississippi, and it's a really big RV park or campground, and sits right in the bayou essentially, and then right on the ocean. So I had never been down to this part of Mississippi before, but man, what a cool place. And but anyway, just kind of get to some events today and kind of make this a two-part message. I'm going to post part of it on Facebook, and then the rest of it, like the entirety of it, will be on our YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. And I'll put a link up on Facebook. But man, what an interesting day. You know, we left Florida and made a new contact at Whiting Field. A gentleman reached out to us and wanted to know about Mission Aviation. We tried to set up a lunch meeting, but he ended up flying today. The weather kind of cleared, and then he had some students. But I'm pretty sure he instructs for the Marine Corps. But hopefully God lets us meet in the future. And then after that, we just continued down I-10 with the hopes, really, just to get to this campsite, try to break up the trip before we get to Shreveport and meet up with Mission Tech Services. But one of the crazy things that we did see today was the I-10 car chase that ended with a gentleman dying, and you just kind of tell, it was really interesting to see how they closed for probably 10 miles the interstate on one side, and then at every exit the interstate was blocked on the eastbound side with police officers with stop sticks and their weapons drawn. And then as you got closer, they stopped our side of the interstate, and this gentleman had unfortunately murdered two people in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and then they had chased him, had a manhunt, and chased him through the state until he got to I-10. And then so Mississippi State Police and Louisiana State Police literally, I can't even count, I bet there were 50 police cars behind him in a slow speed chase. But it ended, unfortunately, right there we were at, and helicopters and everything, and he died. He had a four-year-old child in the car with him and was shooting at the police officers and all this wild stuff. So didn't end very well, but and it's just crazy how life can. I was telling Stacy, you know, he probably did not wake up this morning thinking that his life or even his day would come anywhere close to this. You know, just, you know, was this a crime of passion? Or but the reality is like, you know, this is a lost world. You know, and this is why it's so important as Christians that we reach out to people, because the enemy will constantly drive a wedge in people's lives where they feel like there's no hope. And as we read Scripture, we see that the only hope is Jesus Christ. So anyway, some other things I want to talk about too, just real quickly, just some really good conversations today, just kind of give you an idea of what's going on inside the ministry. Not only are we traveling on this incredible trip, 15,000 miles, and meeting all these people and raising support, which is hugely important, but the business of the ministry goes on. Great conversations with Joey Knowles this morning, getting him and his wife Natalie are actually working and renovating one of our RVs. We have a pop-up RV that they're renovating that they will list as a rental. And so we had a good conversation about their renovation details and buying things for the pop-up camper. But the cool thing about that is like that's just another business revenue source that funds ministry. And so we're excited about that. That's about to hit the market. The Airbnb house, the ministry house in Brunswick, also is an Airbnb. So when it's not being used for ministry purposes, either mission trips or, you know, volunteer staying or being used by the local church, we put it up on Airbnb, and it is literally booked all the way around our ministry events that we have scheduled this summer. Almost all of the other weekends are booked. So God's really blessing that. And not only does that pay for the house, but it also pays for the operation of the house, but puts money back into the ministry to help further ministry operations. And then lastly, that's just, and so, part of that is I just want to thank Joey and Natalie for doing that, and it's just awesome. And then I want to thank the Pastor Storm and Glass, his wife Michelle, and their family for praying for us in Brunswick, and then being willing to help out on the house, along with our son Ryan and his girlfriend Lexi, as they kind of take care of that property while we're on the road for the next few months. And then lastly, some people don't know this too, but we also have a flight school in Lawrenceville. And that is, the business there has picked up a lot. So I want to thank Wesley Durkett, his wife Tori, for kind of holding down the fort, not only at the Wings of Grace program there with our other volunteers, but also at the flight school, just working details out. So anyway, amazing stuff. Thanks to everybody. Just a lot of things going on in the ministry, but a little brief snapshot of tomorrow. We're going to leave out of here. Look at the ocean one more time before we head up to Lafayette in Louisiana and eat some Cajun food and see if we can find some more people to meet up out there. But preparing for our meeting, a couple of meetings up in Shreveport, Louisiana. So anyway, I love everybody. Stacy does too. She's inside playing with the rats with the kids. And I'll talk to you guys in the morning. Don't forget to tune in live because I'll do another Bible study in the morning, as long as we have internet. So love you guys and have a great night.